For today's cup of coffee is
Cup of coffee
clears his throat right as I'm getting ready to talk.
I'm sorry. Listen, it has to happen. I'm a smoker, damn it.
I actually give a countdown. I've got hand signals.
It just comes.
Whole 9 yards.
Mama, if I don't clear my throat, I choke.
But you're supposed to do that before we start recording.
But it didn't hit before.
God, of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. Oh my God, we are in total brain-breaking times.
Let me tell you something. Speaking of brain break, before we get into... You want to know what's brain breaking? Headlights. Y'all, I hope none of our viewers have those bright-ass halogen bulbs in their car.
I think they should be illegal. I really do. I think
Vivi said
dangerous.
that they were.
And they can't be illegal if people still running them. Because they wouldn't pass inspection.
That's what I thought, so I just took it with the butt. Anyway.
Assume nothing.
If you're lighting up the road, even when it's still light out, there's still, enough light that you don't really have to have your high beams on just yet. You do have to have your regular lights on, though. If you're shining the road in front of the car in front of you, there's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are blinding them, even though you're multiple feet away, there's an issue.
I really think that if... I mean, that would be one of those things that I would take something like that to court.
Yeah.
If somebody was behind me and it impaired my vision to the point that it caused an accident or something like that, I certainly would take somebody to court, and I would take the manufacturer of the headlights to court. Because I have learned over the years, while you're up, because it's the only way you get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. And those headlights are going to cause a major lawsuit at some point. If they have not already.
We don't know yet. When it happens to enough people, a lot of times something gets done. But it's just been, it has been one of those all over the road days today. It truly has. We have geomagnetic storms going on, which is going to continue for a minute. Stefan Burns had another thing. He had a live stream there this morning, and we're recording this on July 28th, 2024 at 9:42 p.m. And I didn't even post that one. I did catch part of the live stream, but with the geomagnetic storms, it's sort of like brain glitch. It can cause that on some of us.
Yeah.
It's obviously causing it on a lot of people. And then there's other people that got brain glitch for a variety of reasons. Just a variety.
If you got ADHD, you already have brain glitch, but this shit makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just some other thing to have to try to factor in. From Daily Star... Comet of the century is approaching Earth. And this is one of those comets or harbingers. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
And this one is supposed to... Why don't they just name them names? Honest to God, why don't they give them a name? This is Comet C /22023A3, and we will call it George. Comet George is supposed to come here and be approaching Earth October the 12th.
Okay.
And said that they said it was ironic because it's International Astronomy Day. But then they're saying International Astronomy Day comes twice a year.
How does that make sense?
Day is singular.
Yeah.
Days are plural. It matters.
Yeah.
It matters.
Grammar matters.
But it's just, I mean, it's just another one of those things, honest to God, the PsyOps on everything right now, and I will put a link to that if I remember it, brain glitch, remember, has just been dizzying. It started this morning when I first got up because of the astro weather and all this bunch of stuff that's going on right now. One of my wanderings about 4 o'clock this morning or something like that. Got up, came through, went outside, smoked a cigarette, came back in. And I've done this for so many years, I don't even have to think about it. It's like I come in, I lock the outer door, the storm door. I come in, I lock the wooden door which has the deadbolt and the other lock. I don't even have to think about doing that. It's just automatic. I get up again this morning, both doors wide open.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaked me out. And I'm like, okay, I would rather not have random meth heads sitting on the couch.
No.
Now, we do know, and hopefully the one dude has gotten better because he's gained some weight. He looks a lot better. We've not seen him walking up and down the road. But there are others.
There are others. And I don't know, maybe my brain glitched and I didn't close the door properly.
I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure, because I know for a fact at least I closed the storm door.
I mean, it was wide open. I mean, because a lot of times
but sometimes it doesn't latch.
We will leave the storm door ajar so that the cats can kind of come and go, because they can pile the door open and close sometimes. Not totally closed, but it was freaky.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, we're going to have one of those days.
Loves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But actually today wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, it was a matter of cooking just so that we could have family meal and prayer. And because it is a day of prayer. Every day is a day of prayer. That'd just be how we do.
Yeah.
And then husband had called this evening. And I absolutely, he was sad. And for those of you who are new, husband is incarcerated. Husband has dissociative identity disorder. At one point, there was a demonic entity attached to him. We saw it. We got proof. You can go back through other videos. We've discussed this for years because it's been going on for years. And so he's incarcerated again. And it was one of those that were drugs involved? Absolutely. Because that's another form of demonic possession. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise.
No, I fully believe you on that.
Yeah. And so it's interesting. It is being married to a ghost. It is a disembodied voice that I am very much aware. And he has been in there this time. And it's a non-violent offense. You know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things these people keep throwing around, these terms, felon. And most of them don't even know what the hell that term means.
Exactly. But they automatically think, oh, they did something violent.
Right. That it was some kind of violent whatever it was.
It's because propaganda.
Yeah. Because people are just fucking stupid a lot of times. They hear something, they think they know, and they don't know shit. But anyhow, he called and he was all sad because dude that he knew from his childhood. Because when you come from an area where you have got a preponderance of dysfunction, you're going to get dysfunctional people. It's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
And he came from a horrifically dysfunctional family. He was horribly abused as a child, which caused the brokenness of spirit, which is dissociative identity disorder. Now, when a kid is going through abuse to the point that there is a part of him that splinters off, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's major abuse right there.
Oh, yeah. Just one incident included an uncle of his holding his wrist to a wood stove and burning him. And then people are going to go, well, I wonder why this person chose a life of crime. He didn't. One of the other ones of him, you know, and it's like, at one point we had identified 4.
Yeah.
One of them was child. One of them was teenager. There was 2 teenagers. I'm not sure which one of those whichever it was, could have been the demonic whatever.
Right.
And then there was the core personality of the man that I married. And the
Which was the one that you fell in love with.
Yes. The people look at me and it's like, well, what the fuck was wrong with you? Nobody knew this was going on.
No, he was never diagnosed until you busted your ass for that diagnosis.
Absolutely, because I knew the man that I had married. And I went in, again, 2013, my God.
That's so
when
rough.
everything flipped. And it was just like, this is not my husband. And it wasn't. So, anyhow, without having to retell it, because after this many years, I'm weary of having to tell it. But he called, and he was all sad, and dude that he had known since elementary school, they found him dead.
Today?
Uh-huh. In there, yeah. He had already had rigor mortis by the time somebody found him.
Oh, shit.
And dude had been an addict. And, husband's not sure whether dude decided to use while he was in there, or if somebody did. And it's like, me, I have reached a limit on empathy. I really have. And I think a lot of people have reached a limit on empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went off. Not on husband. It wasn't anything towards him. It was on dude. Because anytime somebody makes the choice to use, there are ways that you cannot use.
Yes. But we don't know for a fact if he used or not.
It was fentanyl. They
had
had said it was fentanyl.
Well, remember, he got laced with fentanyl through a cigarette.
And you know what? That was stupid of him, and I told him that. Don't be smoking nothing in there. Watch your food. Do not leave a cup sitting anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I'm sure, I'm glad we have redneck neighbors too, because I was out on the porch when I was taking this call, and I was basically just I was escalated, and I was loud. And I'm like, dude's family, he gave them a life sentence. Now his kids, now his other loved ones and stuff like that, and this is the thing, and this is honest to God how I feel about it. Either these people, and this is hardcore AA coming out too, either you make a decision, you got two choices. You either want to live or you don't. And the thing is, if you're on that don't take your family with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens. It's not that people just automatically cut ties. It's just that they are so weary. And especially when it drags on for years and years and years. But dude's family, and for them, and I'm not saying, I know they're going to be sad. And it was preventable. It was avoidable.
It was.
He should have gotten help so that he wasn't in there. And sometimes the best thing that you can do, and shit still blows up. And that's what happened with husband. And that had a supernatural, paranormal element to it, that was, the devil is determined to kill that man. Now that's on God, whether he is successful or not. But it's like, it was just crazy. And I told him, I said, I don't know what the percentage, and especially right now, because where the fentanyl is killing people everywhere, the percentage of chance of him coming out alive, just off the top of my head, I'd say there's probably a 75% chance he won't. That's just reality. That's reality that I have to live with every day. And it's heartbreaking, and I don't understand. And that was one of the things that I was hoping, when I have had the astrological readings and stuff like that, I just needed answers as far as why. What is the point of all this? What am I supposed to learn from all this? And I still haven't gotten answers.
And I hate to say it, but you probably won't until like all this shit is over with.
Yeah, that's highly likely. And to try to come to terms with that.
I know what God showed me. I'm holding that faith.
Okay, and it's good.
And if it doesn't happen, Oh, well, I've been wrong about a lot of other shit.
Well, and that I'm glad that you said that, because that is the other thing that is vastly important right now. Because we have people dropping off the edge every conceivable way, and that they do need other people to hold the faith. And when somebody's faith is weak or whatever, and in mountain speak, it's somebody standing in the gap. That intercessory prayer, that when somebody can't pray for themselves or just worn out, somebody else steps up, picks up the ball and runs with it. You don't leave a man behind.
No.
And I know that there's people that's like, why in the hell didn't you do this or that? Because God said no. Flat out. I don't care what anybody else says. I know what God told me to do and what he told me not to do with this situation with husband. And so I'm doing the best that I can with it. And it's hard. It's hard. But he never told us the road was going to be easy.
No, he never did.
But everybody I know is going through some really, really hard shit. And this is where we need to pray for each other. We need to take care of each other. If you've got people around you that, just check on them. If it's online or whatever it is, check on them every now and then. Make sure that they're doing okay. And truly listen, not just to words, but you trust your gut on that. Because there's a lot of people that's going, I'm fine. And they're not.
Usually with that, there is a cadence to that I'm fine that usually says otherwise.
Sure. That's like, I'm not fine, but I don't want to tell anybody about it. I'm not ready to open up to anybody,
Right. It's like, people asking cashiers how they're doing it. And they're like, I'm doing okay. That's just a blanket statement, but you can tell that they are worn the fuck out.
A lot of times, if you just look at their faces, you can tell that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people. Because
some are better than masking than others.
Well, it was like yesterday when I went, I had to go buy cat food because the cats are ruthless.
Cat food.
And had stopped to get kid a treat there at Little Caesars. And they had these little, what were they?
Puffs. They were like these pizza puffs.
Yeah, and you said they were delicious.
That's so good.
They had wings. The wings were actually really good.
Like the bagel bites, the pizza bagel bites?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that, but in muffin form, and it was delicious.
Mm-hmm. They sort of looked like little quiches or something, didn't they?
Yeah, like a pizza quiche.
And so the kid that was working there, because I had asked him, I'm like, what are these? He's like, he was laughing. He called us. He said, I call them like pizza muffins. He said, my kids love them. So I pull up to little old skinny thing. God love him. And it's like, it's been super busy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had ordered things that were not, he said it's probably going to be about 10 minutes or so. I thought, okay, whatever. So he gives me a beeper. And it's like, when the beeper finally, it was probably about 20 minutes, but it's like, hell, I had no place to be. And he pulls around and he's like, thank you for being so nice. And I'm like, why would anybody not be? He's one person in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a young man, and he's talking about his kids.
Yeah.
He's working at a pizza place, but at least he's working. Yes. And then somebody wants to bust his chops because they didn't get theirs when they thought that they should.
That's what happens when people lack empathy and kindness.
But it's one of those that it's like, that's just humanity. Just because you're having a bad day, that does not give you the right to take it out on somebody else.
Exactly.
And we've seen that a lot lately of people taking out whatever. That or these people that are doing this damn virtue signaling. And for those people, I have no tolerance. None. Like I said, that would be a resounding, fuck you, get away from me.
Mm-hmm. That virtue signaling it's a dangerous thing.
It is a dangerous thing. It truly is. But it's like, also have a little bit of self-awareness that if you know you're in a crisis situation, or reach out to somebody. Now, we always have that in our description box about there is a national mental health hotline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that includes substance abuse. If you've got a problem, and it's like, oh, I don't have a problem. Really? Can you go a day without whatever? Can you go a week without whatever? Find out what happens when you try.
Yeah.
If you've got that pulling, that drawing, that longing for it, it's got a toehold in you. Get you some help.
Yep.
It's craziness.
It's not. I don't know on that. But people have been talking about crashing out and all that. Mm-hmm. Basically, what crashing out is what used to be called wilding out.
What?
Wilding out or crashing out now. That's basically meaning they can be tipped off by the littlest of thing and just go berserk.
See, back in the day when somebody just crashed out, that was just like, becoming a couch potato for a while. You just crashed out on the couch. And see, this is repurposing language in a totally different way that can cause confusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, if somebody knows that they're that on the edge, again, get some help.
Yes.
Talk to somebody.
Yes, because that is a crisis point.
It is crisis. It is crisis point. And it's one of those things, those of us that have dealt with, I've dealt with depression since I was 12. And so you learn after a period of time, you ride the wave. It's like, okay, this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give it energy.
No.
You learn to do coping skills. You learn what works, what doesn't work. I'm one of these that I will tell my people, I'm like, look, I'm going through a depressive episode. Just,
Yeah.
give me some space, because that's the main thing that I need, because I do not want to inflict myself on others. Try not to. If somebody is escalated, do not tell them to calm down. That is the fastest way to trigger somebody that can tip them over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Because it ain't a matter of calming down. It's a matter of sitting there going, I can see that you're upset. Would you like to talk? Would you like me to help you find someone to talk with? Because they don't want advice. They want to be heard. They need to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And in a world where everybody's screaming and nobody's listening, that's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, yeah. That's why you see so many people literally just going ballistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Prayers. Oh, God, prayers. Kid, final thoughts?
Prayers.
Let's hope one of us is not sleepwalking.
We'll see if it happens again tonight. We will see.
I didn't come to in the living room screaming, Kitty!
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
I had a dream about 3 crosses on my necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, I'm pulling one down, and I'm like, what? I don't remember. I only had one. And now there's another. Then there was another one that appeared, and it was smaller than the other two. It's just like this tiny little thing, and it was kind of... It looked like a decorative cross.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't understand what that means.
Well, that's one of those.
You said it was the Trinity, but like
that's what automatically came to mind on that. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So
like the other, like I really did like that little decorative one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like 3 crosses.
But a lot of times,
I wouldn't put it past me for wearing 3 crosses at a time.
Well, a lot of times when you have dreams like that, to keep a dream journal,
mm-hmm.
and a lot of times the meaning may be revealed to you later. You can pray about the meaning of it. I
was like that zombie dream, and I've been talking about that zombie dream
mm-hmm.
because it felt
messed with you.
It felt kind of real.
Yeah.
And like at a certain point, I crawled into a closet that had this window on it, and it led to some sort of thing. And the closet was filled up with stuff, and I just sort of closed the door, sort of buried myself in the clothing, hoping that they wouldn't smell me or see me.
Yeah.
And then I just decided to climb through the window, and it was just, I was looking out at, and then like, oh shit. It was like Dead Island.
There's a lot of stuff within the zombie mythos that I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. I understand about
a lot of
suspension of belief, but a lot of it, it's just like, no, it makes no sense.
A lot of supernatural stuff doesn't make sense, though.
Well, it's like, maybe we need
but the thing about them
in lots and lots of cayenne pepper.
But the thing about them eating brains, that didn't come around until Return of the Living Dead.
Right. I mean, it's just, like I said, there's a lot of it that's the reason I never got into that genre much. Mine was always more as far as vampires and... Yeah.
The people are talking about vampires left and right on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I saw this interesting thing today that they were... about adrenochrome, that it's called
real.
ambrosia. I don't know whether that's real or not.
Causing what?
That it was called ambrosia. I looked before. You can buy the shit online.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's babies.
Well, it can be. But they were talking about as far as doing a lot of these experiments where they're taking the blood from younger people and infusing it into older people, and they had talked about this one experiment where they had this young rat that was somehow tethered to the older rat, and I've seen horror movies about that. Excuse me. As far as where they I can't remember what the hell I was watching.
Zydrate.
Weird that where they had these people that were tethered to the old ones to keep them alive, and it's like the sharing of the blood in the veins, and it was just graphic.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
But
this one woman had been an actress.
Okay.
So I don't know. It was probably an episode of something at some point that I saw, because I've watched many bizarre things over the years. It was bizarre.
But I don't know, that adrenochrome, it kind of gives me Zydrate vibes.
Yeah, it gives me, it's like, no, that these people want to live forever because they think that the longer they live, that's longer that they don't have to face God. And it's like, I hate to tell them, you can't get around that.
Yeah, we all got to face him at some point.
And give an account.
Yeah.
So is that your final thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So if you've had experience, everybody's having experiences with the supernatural and paranormal.
I thought that was...
Everybody.
God gave Paris a big sign when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only place that was lit up was the church.
Mm-hmm. The whole city was in total darkness except for the church.
Mm-hmm.
And people will be going, oh, it's just coincidence. No.
That ain't no coincidence.
You don't want to say what's there, what's for real.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you've had encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, tinfoil hats, all that stuff, you can give me an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. That's there in the description box somewhere.
Yeah, and if you like this video, comment, like, share. Click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads, even though it don't do much, but it likes the affection. Check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS. Also check her out on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube. Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Mm-hmm. Have a good.
Root vegetables to help you ground over the next weeks. Potatoes, we've been doing some potatoes, man.
We got a 50-pound bag of potatoes.
We have knocked a dent in that 50-pound bag, let me tell you.
We have.
We truly, truly have. So, know that you are loved.
It's a lot of potatoes.
Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. Pray one for another.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.